Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Gentlemen, allow me to tell you right off the bat that Megan Thee Stallion really has not lied about this sort of thing for a long time. How long ago was it that Tory Lanez was convicted? How long ago was it that she testified? See, on the stand, she admitted that they smashed. It was in an interview with Gayle King only that she denied it. And lying to a reporter is different from lying in court. But even then, she has to throw in that she was drunk. What it tells you is that women that are loose, that are sluts, that are fornicatresses, and proud of it, still are embarrassed to fornicate with men they perceive as being normal compared to themselves. Men who have as much to lose as the women do in life that manage to get up in them vaginas are an embarrassment to these women. That's what I wanted you to understand. That's the lesson I picked up from this a long time ago. Since it's resurfacing, I figured I would remind you guys that malice is the motive and that their annoyance is intentional. These are not things that they're doing without thinking about it or if they forgot. It's nothing like that. No, it is intentional, it is calculated, and it is malicious. They may be young and they start off following the crowd, but I've told you before, as they get older, it's not following the crowd anymore. As they start thinking about what they're doing, because they do become adults, they make a conscious decision to keep on doing what it is that they're doing. And if they don't, well, then that would prove even more true what Shahrazad and Esther Villar have said about Western women coming from Esther Villar and about black women coming from Shahrazad Ali, which is that they stop maturing at 14. It is going to be very important, gentlemen, that you stop validating broads just for looks. You must stop doing that. They're not capable. Well, they're capable of it, but they just simply will not bring themselves to think enough to mature once they have that validation. Stop it. My age group did that dumb shit. Guys older than us did that dumb shit. And now cats in their 30s and 20s these days do not have a good selection, no matter what kind of heights these men reach, no matter which caliber they prove to be. They don't have a good selection. It's not out there for them. Tory Lanez, what's out there for him? Megan Thee Stallion and this other chick, whoever she is, that probably was the one that actually fired the gun and shot Megan through the foot, but she used Tory's gun to do it. So now Tory's got to go up the river for it. That's what's out there for Tory. Tory ain't got no better options. Gilbert, I think his name is Arenas maybe, but Gilbert, he's paired up with Melly Monaco. I'm not saying he should be, but what I'm telling you is that those are the options that are out there. PJ Washington's options were Brittany Renner. These men have to, when these guys develop these talents that they develop to get where they are in life, unfortunately, they don't get somebody to sit up and say to them, listen, this is what you need to know about these hoes, about these broads. That's the sad thing about it. So that's all that's out there for them. And this quality, that's a very low quality ceiling. It's an artificially lowered quality ceiling. And these guys have to reach an artificially raised quality floor to which they've been held. This is by design, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that when I was coming up, and guys older than me from my pop's generation to the age group that was in between mine and his, The ones that were teenagers when I was a kid, to the ones um to my age group, and even to those that were kids a few years younger than I am, down to that age group, cats that are now hitting their 40s, getting into their 40s or settling into their 40s. These guys don't have quality out there because we sat up there and did dumb things. And it's even worse now because these broads got social media, so they can always get the validation and the ego boost that they want. They ain't got to do nothing but post some booty pics. That's it. They ain't got to do nothing else but that. And they get an endless supply of validation and likes. And then what's finally left is that if you are going to be a Western guy and you're hetero and you're going to try to be with anybody, you, the only options you got that are safe are you stay by yourself. Well, actually, the only option that's safe is you stay by yourself. If you're going to be with anybody, you got to be with somebody who has far less to lose than you do. Not just less, but far less than you do. And if you manage to just smash, not a full blown relationship, but just smash someone that has about as much to lose as you do, she's going to get embarrassed by her friends because of that if they find out. And so now she's got to turn around and shame you some way or get you to pay some extra pussy penalty or pussy price, because there has to be a penalty or price. Her friends, the hyenocracy, are going to demand and enforce that socially upon her. Girl, wait a minute. You Megan Thee Stallion. Now I know that's Tory Lanez, but you Megan Thee Stallion, and you just smashed. No, girl, he don't get to just hit that and that's it. Even if you got a boyfriend, he's out there hitting somebody else too. No, you cheat, not him. Now make him pay. Megan had already admitted she gets violent if somebody she's laying down with lays down with somebody else. And Megan had a reason to lie and say she would sleep with him because I forgot who she was dating at the time, might still be, but it was somebody. Some good dude she wasn't supposed to be cheating on as far as people around them can see. There must be a serious price for you to pay. And I mean a ridiculous price. In a nutshell, what it comes down to is they demand to be validated, and they've been getting that. Even in the 90s before social media, I saw that. And I was trying to tell some dudes, look, man, it's one thing. It's one thing to be honest with someone that you know well about how good she looks, but you gawk over her. You're like, oh girl, you look good. Stop it. I've been telling dudes. Told them 30 years ago. Well, they ain't gonna come to you. Yeah, I know that. But now they're gonna get up and run from you because they got too many guys chasing after them. And I'm tired of seeing that every time something goes on between a man and a woman in the West, it results in some extra penalty for the guy and not for her. And I'm not advocating fornication. I'm not for that. But in a society that does not see fornication as wrong, it still penalizes the men and doesn't penalize the women. Megan Thee Stallion is a liberated thought by her own admission, a proud fornicatress with a WAP. Why is she ashamed that she laid down with another celebrity man? Because it's too good a deal for that man. Too good a deal is in it's not a bad enough deal. No, he's supposed to be relegated to laying down with waitresses at restaurants and strippers and IG models and thoughts that are supposed to baby trap him. And he wasn't relegated to that. And because both of these chicks were part of the reason he wasn't relegated to that, guess what? Now it gets out. And so each one of them, the black woman's ego, it's not about catching feelings for Tory Lane, even if he was hitting it right and making the leg shake. It wasn't about nothing to do with that. It was about ego. Girl, that's my ding dong. No, that's my ding dong. My bed buck. You messing with my bed buck. That's what that is. And frankly, I get sick and tired of seeing how, men trying to find validation between the thighs of these women that are only going to or only looking for validation themselves and can never get enough of it, wind up paying an extra heavy price while chicks cash in. I told you, black men, you made it too easy. And now you got younger guys that have to pay the price because my age group made it too easy, just like my age group had to pay the price because our dad's generation, our parents' generation made it too easy. That's the truth of the matter. Made it entirely too easy. We had to pay some heavy prices. We had to deal with some serious entitlement, and it got worse. It didn't get better. It didn't stay the same. It got worse. So people can say what they want about these young guys that are now saying we're not approaching these chicks. They woke up. I'm glad they did. And I'm going to say to guys my age, we should have done that when we were younger. The bulk of us, the majority of us, should have been awakened and aware of this like these young cats when we were younger, when we were the age we should have been. Because then these younger guys might have had better options to make, better choices to make. They don't have better choices to make. They're just the first ones to sit back and say, I'll stay by myself. May not be the healthiest thing in the world, naturally speaking, but it is the healthiest in this reality in which we're living right now. If it means I'm just in the house and I'm playing video games all the time, and that's it. I don't really learn much about women. So damn what they weren't going to teach me nothing about them but headaches and annoyance anyway. They're the first ones to look at this crop of these broads and say, if all you're going to offer is headaches and annoyance and trouble and unreasonable demands on us, then you're going to be by yourself too. We might be by ourselves, but the chances were heavy for that anyway. Now it's going to be both of us. They're making these young women into cat ladies. They're making chicks their own age into cat ladies by the time these chicks are in their late 20s. And that's because you got these chicks in their 30s and their 40s saying, girl, you young, you can get out there and be a hoe. And they really believed it because they were being approached. And now you got dudes that won't say a damn thing to them in person. They go to the bars trying to get picked up, and there ain't nobody there but other chicks. And that's it. Let this be a lesson to us. She denied, even though this is old news, it's been revisited. So we learned that lesson. She denied laying down with Tory Lanez, and it wasn't about chastity either. It wasn't even about that. It was just about the fact that according to these women's own rules, guys that are good enough to fornicate with today, tomorrow ain't even good enough to fornicate with. So anybody who did lay down with them needs to go ahead and make them pay an extra price. And these broads can brag to each other about how they use their pussy to put a nigga in jail. They can brag to each other about that, and they will high five each other in these hair salons and all that. You let the wrong dude smash and your friends find out, you can get rid of the shame by making him pay an extra high price. Girl, I got a restraining order on him. Girl, he's in county right now. Girl, he ain't getting out the state facilities until another 4 years. Something like that. Let that be a lesson to you. When you get out there and you develop yourself, and understand that when you develop yourself, you cannot do so thinking that one of these Western niches can even possibly be a prize. They're not capable of being that. Understand that you're developing yourself for your own benefit. That's why. It's not natural. And I don't like telling men to plan a monastic future. Now, I don't mind telling men to be chaste and not fornicate, but I don't like telling men to plan their futures if they're just going to be stuck being by themselves. But unfortunately, I see it as dangerous to tell you to plan on being with anybody, because most of you will not leave the West, and that's not your fault. But while you're in the West, the options are bad. The pickings are not only slim, but they're unsafe. They're dangerous. They're scandalous. And you're just going to have to prepare yourself for that, for the sake of your safety. It's not the healthiest natural option, but the only natural option is not even there anymore. The one that's natural and safe ain't even there. That's the good wife. She's not there. See, hypergamy's always been around, but hypergamy's even had its limits. That's the thing that has to be understood, has to be remembered. In situations in highly stratified societies where you had royalty married other royalty. They might marry royalty from another country before they'd marry a commoner from their own. That's how important it was. But understand this. Nowadays, it's unchecked, unlimited, and you're a victim of that. So for you to get out there and better yourself means that you still are not going to be able to match with someone that bettered herself. Anything that she develops, any accomplishment of hers that actually could be used to help you out, she will refuse to use in any way that could help you out. She's going to wear it, yeah. She's going to put it on the sleeve and put it up in your face. I got this, that, and the other. But she's not going to use any of these things to help you out. Those are the options for you. Because if she did do something like that and her friends find out, they'll never let her hear the end of it. So really, there's a whole lot more to Megan lying about this than what we think and what we perceive. I hope that what I've said benefits you and helps you to understand. But you have to remember that the motive is malice and that the annoyance is intentional. Thank you for listening. And as always, black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarch until extinction of judgment day. Thank you for flying with us here on Jet Black Air, with a phrase jet black is also a verb. But I again invite you to go to BMAC, buymeacoffee.com/jet.black, so that you can join the business of first class lounges, and so that you can see confessions number 10 and 20, which are keystone confessions, especially number 10, as well as the other content that can help you out. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.